What's up, guys and goddesses? My name is Paris Khalees. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we begin, I'm gonna light incense to bring good vibes. I've really been missing bringing incense in my videos. If you watch me from like my first videos, I know a couple of my videos aren't in like the order that they were because, you know, I did get hacked and my stuff did get deleted. But I would usually normally like light an incense for good vibes in my video, just to kind of help me feel comfortable. I love incense. Also help my viewers, you know, get cool with my vibes. So yes, I just love incense. I love bringing like good vibes to my videos and, you know, etc. Welcome back to my channel. I'm glad for anybody who's been staying tuned with me. Today basically I'm just talking about how I stopped smoking after pregnancy with my daughter, and I also want to kind of talk on like when I started smoking, when I was smoking, you know, and then why I stopped, and how that's affected me in my life. And so never really smoked at all throughout my high school ever. I was never like one of those kids who would smoke, drink, any of that stuff. I always say you probably would never see me smoking. I always kind of had thought about it in the back of my mind, but I was never like one of those kids where it's like, oh, I'm finna be smoking, I'm finna be doing this and that. I just never was. The most I did do was I did take an edible around when I was like just turned 16 on my 16th birthday with a couple people that I was friends with in high school, and I was off the radar. I told myself I would never do no stuff like that again, never be on any type of drugs or anything like that. And mind you, it was my first time and it was just really, really bad. So yes, I never really was that type of person. Then towards college, towards when I started going to college and stuff, then I decided like, I just got out of a breakup relationship that I was in when I was in high school, and I was a bit like kind of lost, depressed. I wasn't talking to people and stuff like that, and it was just me by myself, and I was just going to school and it was just me. Like I really didn't have many like friends and stuff like that, and at the time I was kind of depressed, and so I had started smoking, mainly to kind of like, at first it was mainly because of depression, and then when I started working, it also be times for me I would smoke because of like maybe like stress, or like also just to do it as well too, you know. Kind of would help me take my mind off of stuff at the time. You know, going through that breakup really was affecting me mentally, you know, at the time. And I started smoking, so to kind of help me get my mind off of it, ease. And then at the time I was in a very like depressed mental state. So yes, but I wasn't like a heavy smoker. I probably smoke on occasion and I'd stop, take a break. Like, you know how they be talking about tea breaks and stuff. Like I'd stop and take a break, and then I'd smoke again. And then it got to one point where I kind of wanted to get closer to the Most High. I wanted to change certain ways, the way I was acting in my life. And at that time I was Christian, and I was trying to figure out my life, kind of like just my direction and what I wanted to go. And I knew I wanted to let go of like bad habits and things I knew that wasn't serving me for my highest good. I think that marijuana can't be like beneficial for like maybe health reasons and stuff, or it can't not be beneficial, but in terms of the way I feel, like in terms of my life and how it was dealing with me, I felt like I kind of wanted to take a break from it. I was trying to like wean away from it, not smoke too much, because at one point I wasn't trying to do that. Then I had started working at Walmart, and Walmart can be stressful because I was working long hours. It was like my first long hour job. Like I never really, like, I used to work like little part-time jobs. So when I started working kind of full-time at Walmart, I remember like starting back smoking, kind of getting back into little bad habits, because I really didn't have much time to be at home, because it was only like a few days out the week I was like, you know, at home and stuff. And so I started back smoking and kind of leaning away from what I wanted to kind of do, but I was still trying to change my ways. Fast forward past all that, I did smoke again, but then I ended up like finding out I was pregnant. And it's so funny because my intuition, my deep gut feelings, of course, signs from the universe, I was shown like I was basically like feeling like maybe I should just stop like smoking. Maybe I should stop for a minute, because at the time I was just doing it whenever. And I was like, maybe I should just stop. Maybe I shouldn't, you know, because I was trying to find healthier ways to do it, not to smoke with like tobacco. I was trying to smoke with just wraps and like do all these other things. And at the time it kind of calmed me down, because a person who has like bad anxiety or like stress, or was feeling like anxious from being alone at times, when I was smoking, it would kind of keep my mind off of that. It would keep the anxious attachment stuff away. And for like right before I got pregnant, like right before, you know, as a female, a lot of us get like signs, kind of like, oh, we might be pregnant, we just feel it because we just feel different. My first test that I took came out negative, but I had a deep feeling, like I was like, I feel like I took the test wrong. I feel like it might have been too early. And I was like, I feel like I am pregnant at the time. So I was like, I kind of stopped. I just stopped smoking. I stopped, and then I ended up taking 2 more tests, and they both came out positive. But yes, I wanted to basically, the reason why I'm making this video is I wanted to talk about how much going from that mental state and also changing mentally throughout my pregnancy and just as a person in general really, and why also me not smoking for like 9 months straight like really changed me as well too. I noticed as well from me not smoking, the anxiety that I had, the hard feelings, everything kind of resurfaced, you know. It was very much like, you know, I still took a tea break, of course. I wasn't an occasional like a heavy smoker like that, but at the same time, going from that as well, I noticed that from my own experiences, speaking for me personally, that I mainly was doing it to kind of have an escape a little bit, and also too, to just do it as well. But to kind of have an escape. And a lot of times when I first started, it was most definitely because of depression, and also could be stress from work, trying to escape from the reality of working and stuff, you know, working in general, like especially when I was working at Walmart, I would be so ready to get off work and go, like, come smoke and like do all those things. But yes, like throughout the 9 months, I didn't smoke, barely drunk as much teas as I wish I would have, but I did, you know, drink teas, and I feel like that helps a lot. Also, I'm gonna give a tip: if you are a smoker and you do get pregnant and then you stop smoking and you need something that kind of calms your nerves down, I would suggest teas. At least also check with like what you're good for you and your body. But of course, you know, some people don't like teas, but I think it's a good alternative. And it's also, I feel like, a good alternative as well. If you do smoke and you having like this and that, it's a good alternative to help you kind of get that, your throat thing clogged up within you, teas, adding that to your routine and stuff. But the reason I stopped smoking completely, after my pregnancy, basically just kind of feeling like my whole mentality changed, for one. Our whole mental brain changes, for one. And then for two, when I was like smoking, I felt like, I'm be honest, like 100%, I felt like I wasn't as fully present as I am now. Like being fully sober, in a sober mindset, is fully present in as much as I can be within how I'm feeling, my emotions, how I regulate them. And also too, just like, it's almost like a mature thing that just clicked within me instantly. Like when you instantly change, like women change after they have kids, like, you know. I just felt like I would not be fully present enough for my daughter. I'm not knocking nobody who does do that, you know, with their kids, but I'm saying that for me personally, my own personal perspective, I don't feel like I would be fully present if I was smoking, you know, unless it was maybe like occasion. But yes, I stopped completely. And another reason too, around my birthday, because I had her like 2 months before my birthday, I smoked like once to see maybe if anything within me would change with it. And I just wanted to note that it was my 21st birthday. I smoked just to see if anything would like change with that, and I just felt like it just wouldn't. Like it just was not the same. For one, of course it was stronger because I hadn't did it in a long time. And then two, it just felt like, almost like, for me personally, it felt like it was kind of pointless for me to do it. It felt like at first I was doing it kind of just to have a good feeling from maybe boredom or something. I don't know, but I just felt like I wouldn't see myself doing it like anymore, because it just felt like, not just, I wouldn't say wrong, just felt like it was kind of pointless, if that makes sense to me personally. I feel like I maybe outgrew that. Maybe that me personally outgrowing that version of myself. I don't know, honestly. But I do know that that time when I was smoking, and kind of me being kind of feeling lonely at the time, being in college, working, and still trying to discover like myself, not being fully, didn't go through my spiritual awakening then, but was getting ready to, leading up to that, becoming conscious and stuff. I believe that it really helped me. I'm not gonna lie. At that time, I feel like it helped me kind of like relax in terms of how I was feeling, in terms of being depressed. And it's kind of hard for me to talk about that now, and I'm just realizing that because it was a lot of heavy emotions then. With that time, things that I've matured from, let go of, like I'm more into acceptance now of things and the way that things go. And then I wasn't much accepting of how things was turning out, and it was very hard for me to accept it, and it felt like this huge shock in my life. And I felt like when I started smoking, it kind of made me escape from that shock that I may have been feeling within myself, and that was transmuted just around me and my energy and everything, how my life was changing and me having to accept the changes and all that and above. But yeah, I used to smoke, and I don't smoke anymore. I stopped. I kind of started to drink teas and stuff, and I feel like teas can help me like a lot of times too. This is another reason why. I felt like I don't like the high feeling, if that makes sense. It was weird because it was like I did drink kind of for the first time on my birthday. I got drunk, and I felt like I don't like the feeling, like how then it was like the feeling was just like kind of made me feel almost lazy, like I don't know how to explain it. It just made me feel lazy, like made me feel low. I feel more higher in energy just being in the present, in my own physical sober, if that makes sense. And I felt like a lot of times when a lot of people smoke is because of their stress, and a lot of times it's because of their anxiety. And I felt like that was kind of me at the time, and I feel like me just drinking teas now, like it calms that down. Like I can calm down the anxiety, or if I take some deep breaths at the time, it does that I needed to do, versus smoking giving me more of a kind of giving me in a position where I don't feel like doing nothing. It's hard for me to do things, and I'm just sitting low, kind of like, because when I first like smoked again after not smoking for 9 months, probably like 10 months, because well, 9 months, I'd say 9 months. It was just like I felt like I didn't want to move. I just wanted to sit down and I just wanted to like just, you know, yeah, it just felt, I don't know, I just didn't like it basically the same way. I just really didn't like it the same way, and I, you know, accepted that. But I just wanted to share that because it's also a process of my journey. I also recognize I just really don't really like the feeling of smoking. That's how I knew I kind of matured a little bit, like mentally. Just changed. I won't even have to say matured. It's just something within me changed. Also, just being a parent as well. Like, and going sober for 9 months, it made me be like, kind of like wanting to be more on what can I do to elevate and like improve things within my life, basically. If I'm not elevating, which I am always elevating, but if like in a time, if I'm not where I exactly want to be at times, I don't feel like I want to be just high all day, like how I would been high then. I feel like I'm not fully like present if I'm smoking or like high, if that makes sense. Like it just wouldn't feel right to me. Like, I don't know, it just wouldn't feel right to me, like especially being a parent, like it just wouldn't feel right to me. And also through those 9 months, it gave me a lot of clarity on a lot of things that I probably need to work on within self, ways I want to mature in my life, and just kind of like how I felt like me smoking could also been like, I don't know, like I wanted to be fully present in my life. Not to mention, of course, I didn't want to smoke during my pregnancy. Like I instantly, as soon as right before even then, I had the intuition that I was pregnant, I completely stopped. I was like, yeah, no, I need to make sure, you know. And then I didn't smoke throughout my pregnancy at all. And I also didn't want to smoke around my baby. I just didn't want to. It just didn't feel right to me, like smoking around my baby like that. I did smoke on my birthday. No, I did do that, but I returned to Earth Day. But I just knew, like, I feel like those 9 months really kind of made me just not, for one, two, I didn't even like the smell of smoke the same after, like during pregnancy. The smell of smoke just gave me like the ick. For one, it just was, anybody's trying to smoke around me just gave me the ick. The smell of it gave me the ick. The smell of it on people's breath gave me the ick. I just couldn't. My smell was heightened. Not to mention mentally changing, just mentally, I also noticed like how much anxiety, oh my goodness, anxiety that I had, just not only about my pregnancy, but just in general from not smoking. Not to mention I wasn't doing the breath work and stuff that I was doing at first, and not being able to go out, like going outside like that. And so I had stopped smoking completely, and then I have no type of like nothing, like probably like maybe I drank some teas here and there, but it was like just being fully sober, fully present minded. And it gave me a lot of clarity, because, you know, going from like not being always 100% sober to being 100% sober really makes you like tap back into, okay, you know, and you're face to face with everything that you may have been possibly been suppressed or avoided within yourself, you know. And even now, you know, now with me being a parent, all that stuff, just being conscious and consciously aware of myself and my surroundings, it is a lot, and that's why it's so important to ground yourself as much as you can. And smoking is no longer a thing I use for any form of suppression or anything like that. This is not, you know. But I had just wanted to talk about that on my channel, basically, like how those 9 months basically had affected me mentally, and how I just decided to stop smoking, how I no longer smoke, and kind of just share parts of me like on my channel, just to get to know me and stuff like deeper. A lot of parts of me changed, and I want to like share that and stuff. I also felt like as well too, I don't know how to explain this, but I felt like at points in my life I kind of was living a bit fast, and just general like of certain things that I would do, like, you know, kind of moving too fast, wanting to mature in ways too fast. And I felt like I could have just, I felt like if I would like, I feel like at times when I was like younger, maybe high school and stuff, I felt like I should have mainly been focusing mostly on myself. And I felt like that depression of that, instead of me just dwelling in that emotion, you know, I smoked to kind of like let go of that emotion and kind of like deal with that emotion as a way, kind of help me cope with that, versus me actually fully feeling it. But at the time it hurt so bad to me. I wanted something to let me escape from that feeling as much as I could in any form, fashion, way, you know. And I'm glad now I'm at a state now that I did go through that, and I'm glad now that I'm in a state now I feel like as well, after having my daughter and after having it, like having that mature me in a way to where I don't have to use something else outside of me to feel whatever it is that I'm going through, mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. I'm at a point now where I'm walking into everything with just full acceptance and moving within every part of my life for my highest good, if I, as much as I can, and to accepting anything that I feel like may be off, and accepting the highs and the lows just as much as it is, and trying to connect and find the most balance within that. And I felt like when I was smoking, it was a bit of me trying to escape just everything, just life in general, and finding a way to get used to being alone, or get used to just myself being alone. And even now I still have times where I have to, you know, really get fully used to that and accept that at the end of the day it's gonna just be me. But accepting that now is a bit easier because of what I went through, and because of also I feel like being sober minded and going into that matureness and being like, okay, accepting what I'm feeling. I'm at a state in my life where I'm accepting what I'm feeling fully, without any type of leverage or nothing, and I want to fully feel it. Desire, I know sometimes it'd be hard, but I think like me fully feeling and going through that helps me mature. It helps me go through things with a clear mind, and it helps me recognize the patterns of things that I want to change within myself. So yes, I just wanted to share that on my channel. Basically share also just how things that you can use to help you stop smoking, and I think teas is a really good one as well. Just in general, breath work, deep breath work, most definitely, all those things and above. Yes, I just wanted to share that on my channel. I'm grateful for anybody who's been staying tuned with me. You guys can connect with me, follow me. I will be doing more about my natural birth series on my channel, kind of like my ebook, because I really like posting more on YouTube than I do other social media platforms. I like YouTube because I feel like it just makes sense to me. Like I get to talk longer, kind of express myself longer. I get to vent about anything that I feel, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever. I get to talk about being a mom, and I get to express myself in a more full, it just makes sense to me better, I don't know. And I can edit it, go back, you know. I'm more kind of comfortable on YouTube. But yes, make sure to connect, follow me on my social media platforms. I should have my links below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and connect with me. I don't want to like say follow too much because I don't like the whole terms, etymology, but I like to have connections, so make sure to comment on my videos. I would like to talk, you know, we can talk about being consciously aware together, because that's mainly what my videos are about, me being conscious and aware, me venting, just talking about my life, and also a little bit of motherhood if you connect. And it's not just a channel about me being a mom, it's also just a channel about me being conscious, aware of myself in the present moment, and my experience of life throughout that. So if you stay tuned with me, like to hear me talk, connect with me, that being said, Ashe.